Welcome to week one of the Boyd's Cotton Classic Ramcharger build. This week we're going to get cracking on sorting out the interior. Alright my old fruits, we're going to get cracking on this Ramcharger. So if you'd watched the intro video, you'll know that one of the big things I need to do with this is to give the interior a full new kit out. So pretty much everything in there is going to be recovered, repaired, replaced, and refreshed. So I need to completely strip it down. So I'm just going to get to it, get a screwdriver and a trim removal tool and just start stripping it all out and see what we can find. I'm going to try and lay it all out neatly and then kind of go through every piece and see what needs to happen to it. Like I say, some of it will just be painting, some of it will be repairing. But yeah, I think the first job is to get it completely clear in there. So I'm going to dig in. Alrighty, that is the interior stripped out, day's work, but yeah, it was worth doing. Obviously, I think, like I say, it's nice to kind of take everything out and then know everything's going to need refurbishing before it gradually all gets put back in. I'm pleased to say, by and large, certainly out the back here, I don't know if you can see that, but it is in remarkably good condition under here. So all of the floor here has all stayed really good, and even the roof behind the headliner looks absolutely brand new. So yeah, whilst some of the plastics have suffered from just time going brittle, luckily the frame here is all looking good. There is some work needed down here, so naturally I suppose where a driver got moisture here, this bit is wet, has all rusted through here. So you can see where there's been a sort of previous repair here that's been riveted, which they tended to do, I think, in the States quite a lot. So what I'll do is I'll drill out those rivets and take that out and then cut out this bit. Now luckily it's a flat bit, so I'll just cut a big bit of steel out and put that back in, and then we'll be ready to put everything back in, a new carpet and everything. So what I really hoped to be able to do was to remove the dashboard altogether to paint it, but annoyingly there's screws for it behind the windshield, so I'd have to take the windshield out. But because it is a windshield that has sort of trim as well, if you've ever done that before, it's an absolute nightmare. And to be honest with you, I'm not brave enough to do it, certainly because I'm on my own. So I think what I'm going to have to try and do is paint the dashboard in situ. But luckily, as everything else is out, I don't need to worry too much about getting paint on anything else. So I'll do that. I think I'm going to put a different steering wheel on it as well. I'm not so keen on this sort of early, well, it's at 1989, but it looks very 90s to me. So I think we'll do something a bit nicer with that. But yeah, like I say, as a blank canvas, it's not looking too bad. So over here, what I've got is the headliners, and you can see they look kind of cream, and I thought that's because it was missing, but actually that's just it sun bleached, which is insane. So it's gone from this sort of blue grey colour to this cream colour, but it's actually not in too bad shape. So what I'm going to do is recover those, perhaps using this vinyl, which I've used before and I really like. So I'll cover those and then put those back in. I think that will look good. this is all of the plastics that's come out here. So you can kind of see this pile. Some of them are broken. I'm going to be repairing and painting those. Over here, this is the new carpet set. So I thought it was an entire carpet set, but sadly it is just the front. So luckily the rear one over here is completely flat. So what I'm going to do is buy some black carpet and cut a new carpet for the rear as well. The underlay is all really good, so it's not damp at all, so I can reuse that. But these bits over the wheel arches, because they're shaped, what I'm going to do is I've got some fabric paint coming. I'm going to paint those black. So paint those black, new carpet in. I'm going to re-vinyl the side panels, paint all the plastics that go over there, paint the dash, weld that up, carpet in, and then, oh, actually, yeah, so I paint the insides of the doors as well. So as I said, that one's red and that one's cream, and I want them to be black on the insides as well. So quite a lot of work to do, but I think it's going to look really, really good. And I do have some new upholstery coming, so we're going to be having new upholstery for the seats. So I'm really excited to see this project come together now, especially now I've kind of start it, I suppose. It's been a long time coming, so exciting times. Right, I'm going to tackle the welding in the driver's footwell in a bit, but before I do that, what I want to do is basically test out the method that I intend to use to paint the plastics in the car. So I actually got duplicates of these, so it seems like a good piece to test out the method that I'm going to use. So my plan is, first of all, I'm just going to clean it off with like a multi-purpose cleaner to clean the surface, get all the grime off it. Yeah, just to make sure we've got a clean surface. Then what I'm going to do is rough it up a little bit with a bit of Scotch-Brite, just to key the surface off slightly. It's also going to help just remove any more rubbish that's on there. Right, now that's been keyed off a bit, what I'm going to use is the panel wipe just to degrease it and make sure there's no sort of cleaning products or anything that's going to interfere with the paint. So what I really am keen to test here is that the finish that I apply is robust enough. You know, what I really don't want to do is go to the lengths of painting it all, only for that to peel and crack and look immediately rubbish, because that would be a real shame. I want it to be robust enough to stand up to, you know, everyday use of a vehicle. So yeah, there we go. So what I've got is some plastic primer, which I'm going to apply first, and then I've got some acrylic black paint, which is good for plastic. So let me get the primer. I'm going to shake it up for a minute now, bear with me. If I ever do learn it all. Right. Let's give it a first coat. If I ever do learn it all. Right, I'll give it 15 minutes now and then apply another coat, and then we'll come back to it a bit later. Right, back to the footwell. So what I've done is remove that panel that had been riveted in. And what I found here is that it had basically, yeah, been riveted in and then seam sealed around there. And that repair obviously serves a purpose for a short amount of time, but what it tends to lead to is further moisture ingress and effectively what we've got here. and you can kind of see that the repair was done this side of the chassis leg. It would have been not visible, certainly from underneath, unless you got right under to see what was going on here. So what I now need to do is to clean this all up, get rid of all of the seam sealer and cut out all of the rot, basically get back to the good metal. Luckily, it does seem fairly localized just to this area. Like I say, the rest of the vehicle is in absolutely stunning condition. And this is, I guess, fairly typical of what you'll find in a classic car, the area where the driver's boots have been sat and moisture's gathered there. Over time, that would soak through the carpet and will get the floor pan underneath, which is why you often find that. But like I say, mercifully, the passenger side has remained unscathed. So it's just going to be a case of cutting this out. I'll probably cut beyond where the seam sealer was, so we know we've got good metal, and then we can just weld a nice big piece in there and then seam seal it, paint it, and once the new carpet's on, it'll be as good as new. So yeah, I'm going to get to cleaning this up and cutting it out and seeing what we can do. Alrighty then, so new floor is now welded in, seam sealed. Yeah, quite happy with that. Certainly we're extending the life of the vehicle a little bit longer, and this is kind of a typical thing that you would see in a classic car. Weirdly, I think the cause of the corrosion in this was because that questionable repair was done, but then all of this was painted with red oxide, which, as I said before, is porous, so that would have just let the moisture in from the carpet, from the driver wearing boots, etc., and it would have just gradually eaten it up. So what I'm going to do is, like I say, I'm going to let that dry, and then I'll paint this all with some good rust-proof protective paint, and then I'll do on the underside as well when I've got it up in the air next. And then, yeah, that's that job done. And like I say, hopefully we've extended the life of this vehicle by another couple of decades. Okay, so I've given it 2 coats of primer, left it for a couple of hours to go off, and now I'm going to apply a acrylic satin black paint, which is suitable for plastics. Give it a couple of coats and see how we get on. Right, 1 coat. Seems to be doing something a bit weird down here, but we'll see how it goes off and give it another coat and check back in. So I've got the headliner out. I don't know if I've shown you already, but I thought this was missing, but actually this is just sun bleached. It should be like a blue color. It's gone completely cream, but it's in reasonably good condition, and it's obviously a sort of curved piece, so not something I could very easily make a replacement for. So my intention is to recover it in this nice vinyl. So what I'm going to do is rip off the old sort of fabric covering, and then I've got some oh, that was easy. I've got some like upholstery stuff that I can stick over it. Oh, I think it's made of fiberglass, and hopefully the upholstery glue, which looks like it's been used before, will be enough to hold it onto it. I can recover it, cut around it, and we can throw that back in, and I think that's going to look really good. This is I'm using as a bit of a trial, so I had that vinyl lying around for left over from another project. If it's successful, then I will order some more to do the rear headliner and the panels in the back as well. It's a bit delicate around these edges where the visors bolt through, but that will hopefully, when the visors are bolted in, will give that strength back. So hopefully this is salvageable. I'll give it a go.
The prettiest thing I ever saw. A red bird on a fallen log.
So there we go. I'm really pleased with how that's come out. It's stuck really well. It's gone into those curves nicely. And I think that's going to look really good when we put it back in. So this stuff is about £19 per metre. I probably need another 4 metres now, so probably 5 metres in total. So just under £100, which isn't cheap, but I think in terms of the quality finish that it gives, it's money well spent. Okay, continuing with my fixing all the bits of the interior. If you're anything like me, you kind of see these little gadgets and gizmos on the internet and you go, oh, that looks fun. And one of those things I saw was a plastic welder. I'm not sure where I saw it, how it ended up in my psyche, but it is. And obviously a lot of the plastic bits here are broken, so what I need to do is fix them together. Now I could glue it, but I'm not sure how strong that would be. So I've got one of these things that you see, I think I even got it from Temu, that sort of sticks bits of plastic together with heat and like a little bit of metal. So you kind of stitch it together and gives it back its strength rather than just gluing. So I'm going to give it a go and we'll see what the results are like. So not sure if you can see that. It's like a little almost S piece of metal. And I press the trigger here. I think it gets mega hot. Oh, that didn't go that well. Try that again. It fell out. All right, let me show you. Can you see that there? So that bit of wire now is melted in, and what I can do is just cut off those prongs, and that now has stuck it back together. I mean, it still feels pretty flexible. I'll probably put another one in as well, and we'll see how it goes, because if I can do that, it means I can repair all the broken bits like this. But I think I might need to apply some glue as well. Let's see how it goes. Now I have to say, I'm pretty impressed with that. It's given it all its strength back. I end up putting like 3 big ones and then one little one up there. And yeah, A, it works and it's stood up, and B, it's quite good fun. So I've got a load of broken bits of plastic that I'm going to piece together like that. Now I probably could put a bit of filler on there, but actually I don't think it's worth it. I think once it's painted it'll be fine, because you'd lose that texture unless you were able to just do such a fine line of filler, and I'm not that precise. But that is really, really pleasing. So for once, the internet has not lied to us, friends. I think this cost about 20 quid and it's a really good gadget. So if you need to fix some plastic, that's what you need. Can't tell you how impressed I am with that gizmo. You know, cars of this era really suffer from brittle plastics, and this whole side panel was in about 5 bits, and I've put it all back together again using that metal stitching, and it feels as strong as certainly it would have been at any time in the last 20 years. So what a cool thing. And I'm going to fix all the plastics that we have. Unfortunately, there's still bits that are missing, but hopefully when it's in, that won't be too noticeable when it's all black. But yeah, really pleased with that. I'm going to carry on doing the bits that I've got, and then they'll be ready to paint once we've got that sorted. All right, painting plastics update. I don't know, is this really boring content? I don't know. Maybe if you wanted to change the color of your dash, it might be of use to you. But anyway, so I painted that first panel black, and let me show you the results. So the good news is it's really tough and hard wearing. Like, I'm scratching it and I've tried to scratch it with my nail and that isn't going anywhere, which is great, which is what we wanted. However, I'll just try and make sure the angle is right. I'm not sure if you can see that. There's been a reaction, which is odd because the primer and the paint are the same brand. So you'd think they'd have made them to work together. So I think it is one of two things: either the cleaning stuff that I used, or I didn't leave the primer for long enough. I left it for the 3 hours that it said, but maybe it wasn't quite warm enough here. So what I've done is primed another one, and what I'm going to do is try it again, paint it with that same paint again, but I'm probably going to do half this time, and then if that doesn't work, try a different paint. But what I also did was not use that cleaning material, and I also didn't scuff it up this time because I felt like it didn't add anything in it, and you could actually see some of the scratch marks, whereas this looks really good. You can still see the grain in it and all that stuff. So I'm going to have a go at this, and if that's successful, then I can then start priming all of those other plastics that I repaired. So yeah, that will be really good to get cracking with. All right, so there is the wheel wells, as I've mentioned here, that are in carpet, which, because they're shaped, it's going to be quite hard for me to replicate. So what I want to try is, I've got this flexible fabric paint, which I'm going to give it a go. I figure if I can spray them black, then it means it'll all match in. And again, nothing ventured, nothing gained really. This was relatively inexpensive. I think 2 little cans like this was like £6. And doesn't work, then I'll maybe get some 4-way stretch carpet to go over it, but that would be more expensive than £6. So I'm going to give it a go. So I'll put you down there and have a go at spraying it. So it's dark in here, so I've got my light on. Hopefully you can see. It says to give it like a few light coats, so I'll do that. Right, that's coat number 1. I'll leave it, I think it says 15 to 30 minutes, and then I'll give it another one and we'll check back when it's done, see how it looks. Right, so now this is all repaired. As you can see, there's a hole here and there's this bit missing here, and my first instinct was like, okay, well, perhaps you won't notice it when it's all in. But actually, I think, again, why not try and repair it? So my plan is to put some fiberglass on here, some fiberglass sheet to fill in these holes. And then what I'll do is put some fiberglass filler on the outside and then sand it back. And I don't think it's going to look perfect, but I think it's going to look better than holes. And it's something I've not done before, and as you know, I'm always keen to try out new stuff, acquire new skills. So I'm going to give that a go, because I think, yeah, like I say, I really want the interior to be really good in this, so it'd be a shame to have some bits missing. So let's give it a go. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to attempt repairs to 3 areas of this side panel, and I don't know what I'm doing. But basically what I've done is roughed up around the damaged area and cut some fiberglass to that size to patch over it. Then what I've done is mixed up some resin. This stuff smells so strong. And then, from my understanding, what I do is apply it to this that I've roughed up with like 50 grit sandpaper. Get that in there. What I don't want to do is get it dripping all over everything, and then stick this guy over here into the resin. And then apply more resin over that. Oh, it's quite satisfying actually. This is not how you fix bodywork though, guys. I hate it. People fix bodywork with fiberglass. We weld metal. I'm getting resin on there. Make sure I've got it on the bit in the middle there. So yeah, like I say, my intention is to plug the gap and then fill it from the other side with fiberglass filler. I think I'll be using fiberglass filler. It does say on the thing you can use normal filler, but I'm going to use fiberglass because I've got some. And yeah, do the same to this bit over here. This bit's a little bit different because it's an edge, so I think what you do is overlap the edge ever so slightly, and then you can trim it down afterwards with a knife. Oh, I should have put some rubber gloves on really, these ones suck. They came in the packet. I'll just again go over that with the resin. I want to overlap it ever so slightly, I think. Like I say, I don't think it's going to look perfect, but I do think it's going to be better than having a hole. And like I say, if we can fill it and sand it, then there's an opportunity for it to look all right. As we're going to paint them anyway, I just thought it was worth a crack. Oh, that seems, don't want that to sort of flex in beyond. Piece. Right, and then there's another bit over here. Okay, I guess we'll leave it to dry. Nothing ventured, nothing gained, as they say. See how it goes. Okay, carpet update. So it works. I think certainly if you look at, sorry, that light just makes it hard for you to see, doesn't it? If you look at the one before, very grey. If you look at the one after, much blacker. The only issue with this is that I literally blitzed the 2 cans on that, and I think it's probably going to need at least another 2. So I've ordered 12 cans of this, which was like 25 quid. Again, I think that's probably going to be more or less time consuming than me trying to come up with another solution. And if I don't use all those cans and I can stick them on the shelf, I might need them for something else. But yeah, I think that is going to work as a solution. Okay, so next job is the one I've been dreading really, is getting the dash ready. So what I've done is stripped out as much as I can. So all of the surround around here, which luckily came out relatively easy, and that'll make it much easier for me to mask. I've took out the vents, the glove box, basically everything that I could remove. What I have noticed is that there is a bit of a mess of wiring under there, which is probably me foreshadowing there's going to be some wiring needed on this project, although I think a lot of it is someone mutilating a stereo in, which I'll probably strip out. I'm going to strip out any aftermarket wiring. There was, I'm not sure if you can see, there's a box down there because I've taken it off, but there was like some sort of trailer brake kit, which I'm just going to remove because I don't think anyone's really going to use this to tow, and if they do, there's easier ways to wire that in now, technology now. But yeah, what I'm going to have to do is mask around everything. We don't want to get paint on. I'm still experimenting with the black paint, although I feel pretty confident what we're doing. But what we do know is that the primer is good, and it's also worth leaving time for the primer to dry. So the sooner I get the paint on this, or the primer on this dash, the sooner I can get the paint on, because that's going to be the first thing that needs to happen. So yeah, I'm going to get to masking everything off. I don't think it's going to be much fun, but no point in putting it off, is there? Well, that wasn't fun, but it's done. I remembered to clean down all the surfaces before, which is good, and actually they look much nicer and dust free and that as well. But yeah, I've masked everything off. Even had to mask off the little VIN down there, everything in the dash, and yeah, I'm going to get to it, give it a coat of primer, leave it a bit, give it another coat of primer, and then it's Friday now. I'll leave it over the weekend ready to give it the coat of black. But yeah, I'm just going to get stuck in. All right, it is primed, and I think it looks pretty good. I like how the sort of texture's all fine, all come through. So it is now Friday, and I'm just going to leave this over the weekend to make sure it's fully dry before applying the black. But I have to say, I'm now quite excited about putting the black on and seeing how it all looks. So I've also been doing all of the other plastics. There's so much to do. I've got a sore finger, but yeah, I'm just priming them all up now. And it's nice warm temperature here today as well. It's like 22 degrees, so it means they're drying off nicely. yeah, ready for getting coated in the nice black. Okay, so fiberglass update. So it's nice and solid, but this bit had sort of dried sticking forwards. So what I want to do now is apply some fiberglass filler to it. But what I've kind of done, I don't know if this is going to work, but I've kind of anchored it down so it's got that curvature. I figure then if I put a load of filler on it there, then it hardens like that. It will keep that shape and hopefully follow it round. Like I say, I don't think we're going to get it perfect, but I think it'll be better than a hole. This bit over here is great. I mean, that's going to be dead easy for me to fill and skim down, but this bit might be a bit more challenging. So I'll give it my best shot, see if my weird and wacky invention works. If I do this now, it can dry over the weekend and hopefully be ready to sand when I get back on Monday. That's worked pretty well, hasn't it? So I think for the holes, this is going to work really, really well, and I think I'll be able to sand that back. When we prime it and paint it, it'll certainly look better than it would have done. Down here I can't really show you, but this looks like something out of an Alien film currently. So hopefully there's enough material there that when it's all hard, I'll be able to sand it all back and use a block to get that curve. And then I think if there's any more, I might then end up just applying a filler of normal, a skim of normal body filler to finesse it. But I think hopefully it will work. So yeah, fingers crossed. So I think I'm going to wrap up the video for this week at that point. What a weird and wonderful week it's been, I suppose, really. I've learned a lot of new skills, or tried out a lot of new things, which is so important to me as a 43-year-old man who's decided to throw his hat into the ring at restoring cars. I'm still relatively new to this, so any new skills that I can acquire, I really value. We've done the welding that we didn't know we'd have to do. We've teared down the interior. We've pretty much got everything primed now. I just need to finish those last bits of fiberglass and get those bits done as well. And I think next week we've got a lot to look forward to. I've got a steering wheel and a new upholstery coming from the States, which is going to be here early next week. The carpet should have been delivered by then. The vinyl should have been delivered by then. And hopefully it means that by the end of next week we'll be there or thereabouts putting the interior back in. So sorry it's kind of jumped around a lot this week. I did consider kind of editing it in such a way that it would be in blocks of jobs, but I thought actually it's more of a fair reflection about what the week has been like, jumping from one thing to another and then back to another as things dry and those kind of things. I thought it would be kind of just better to show you it in chronological order. So it's Friday, it's 22 degrees here. I am ready to go and have a beer. You should do the same. I hope you're having a great weekend, and I will look forward to seeing you next week when hopefully we will be close, if not there, with putting the interior back in, and then we can crack on with the mechanicals and the inevitable electrical stuff I've got to do. See you soon.